Turn my phone down. Oops. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm coming. Hi. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Quest Show. I am your host, Lana Quest, and this is my lovely co-host.
An honor to be here. We have a lot to talk about tonight. It was an honor to hear the first State of the Union speech from President Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into that, that is how
I was getting ready to say
she is so honored.
Do your little spiel.
She is so honored to be here. She's like, we're jumping in.
I wasn't jumping in. I was saying that's one thing I'm honored to be here to talk about. But yeah,
okay,
go
girl.
ahead.
Okay, I thought you were jumping in.
Nope. Because we have an honorable mention before we get to all of that. So go ahead.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. But before we get into this show, we're going to ask you guys, as always, to please like this video, share, subscribe if you're out there and you haven't subscribed yet so that you don't miss an episode. Thank you to any new subscribers that we have. And I'm going to let Honor take it away.
So my honorable mention, as I mentioned, just a little baseball talk, a little sports, because I know how certain people in our chat, actually all the people in that chat, love my sports knowledge.
Well, he ain't even in here yet.
That's okay. That's okay. When we run it back, he can go right on ahead and listen to what I had to say about baseball. Y'all, I don't know what's going on. I mean, the players and the owners are in negotiation. There is a lockout. There is not going to be any opening day. They said that there were going to be some games, some first games canceled in addition to opening day, but they don't know what they're going to be yet. And I think they're going to go back to the table. And
is there a strike? What? Is there a strike? Because I haven't followed it like that.
They're not calling it a strike. Like, I don't think I think, it's just a lockout. You know what? Seriously, though?
Who cares?
I don't care about that. Is it football? No. Baseball is fun to watch sometimes when you're at the game. You got your beer and, your tacos and your nachos, whatever. Other than that, you know what? Big Papi's not playing. So, I mean.
And who wants to watch baseball without Big Papi?
Like, stop. Although, in another bit of related baseball news, he did make it into the Hall of Fame.
And we love to see it. Oh my God.
I just watched that video recently of, when he found out. It was, it's quite enjoyable.
How many times did you watch it? Because I'll let you know how many times I watched it. If you tell me how many times.
Initially, I think I ran it back like 4 or 5. I don't think I visited it since, but
Right. Yeah. Now, I mean, you know what? He did make baseball. He gave it a certain type of flavor. So it was great to watch him. Baseball is tough. Girl. I don't care either. Yeah. They apparently the owners don't care, girl. They golfing.
I don't care. No. Unless there's a cutie on the field for me to pay attention to. I don't. Yeah. No. When it's preseason, anyway, I don't know, girl. We got a show to get to.
Yes, we do have a show
to talk about.
We do have. There's so much to talk about. I mean, so let's just go quickly with some things that were in the news cycle this week. So Texas,
top 5, which may or may not always be 5, but there's so much we kind of pick and choose which ones are really worth mentioning. Exactly. I shouldn't say worth mentioning because there's a lot out there, but just really kind of caught our eye that we wanted to just talk a little bit about and expand on. Mm-hmm.
I agree. And narrowing it down is kind of tough. But Texas did become the first state to hold their primaries. They had that, when was that? On Tuesday. So Abbott and Beto. So Texas, those are your choices. Choose wisely, choose blue.
Choose easy.
Right. Well, it's not. So also with Texas being the first state to hold their primaries, we got to see how those new laws impacted things and how it just made a muck of everything in Texas. Those people were having a hard time. They were like, let's see, 40% of the ballots were rejected,
Right.
40.
And so many of them just for not having same ID number. So
Right.
you know what? It's so simple. I mean, there's just little subtle things that they do because it's as simple as the ID number that you provide on your mail-in ballot should match the ID number on your registration. Yeah. And I know I know there are people out there that don't have IDs, but there's a great number of drivers out there. Most likely when you are registering, you're using either your driver's license number or your social security number. If it's been so long ago since I registered, if that's what it is, it's like little, how they little parentheses must match number you registered, like things as simple as that. Right. But just little, just things to make it just a little bit more difficult, Right. And then the mail is behind because the joy is still joyless.
Right. So
bringing mail. So if you got a notice, I'm sorry, just
go ahead.
If you got a notice or something that there was something wrong with your ballot, like the amount of time that it may have taken for you to get notice back.
Right. Because they didn't give a lot of notice. Like I think people had until March 7th to either go in and do it or go in online to change it. So I think what we should do as a show, as it gets closer, we need to take these states and break down what their laws are, what people need to do, if their ballots are rejected, where they need to go to fix them. So we definitely need to do that because SB 1 was just a horrific law. That's unbelievable. So that did go on. No, go.
Say we have the matchup that we want in Texas. So
yes, we do.
If you didn't get to vote in the primary, hopefully Beto was your person. Like I said, choose easy.
Choose easy.
Make sure your registration is in order before the general election, and start on that now.
Right.
Don't wait. The deadline may be June 7th or something like that. Start tomorrow to make sure that your things are in order.
Don't you find it interesting that it's easier to buy a gun in Texas than it is to register to vote? It's like you don't have to jump through the hoops. There are no jumping through the hoops. There's no two of the IDs. It's just like you just go in there with your ID and you get a gun.
Right.
If that's even a thing, like who knows? I think you can even use your school ID to get a gun. Like it's just that easy. But we know what's going on here, so we just have to prepare ourselves.
And congratulations, Beto, for winning.
Congratulations, Beto.
We need that. He came close before. Right. And Abbott has shown his colors. Okay, you've had a taste. This is 2020 all over again. Yeah. Y'all had your taste of the crazy. How are you going to right your ship? Are you going to follow the nation's lead, Texas, and right your ship?
Abbott is afraid, so he definitely is. Hi, Michelle. Hi, DA. DA, you missed Michelle's sports short. We talked all about how handsome.
Yeah, I was talking about what I liked about baseball.
Yeah.
Then I realized not really anything because Big Papi's retired.
Yeah, we talked about how handsome he is. So
I'm repeating it just for you. I know you wanted to hear that.
I know, and he's probably shaking his head right now, like I'm glad that I missed it. So what happened as well this week and kind of got overshadowed a little bit. Ketanji Brown Jackson was officially nominated. So that makes us happy during Women's History Month. So good for Ketanji Brown Jackson. We haven't heard too many other Republicans complaining because I guess they were too busy complaining about Ukraine. So they really didn't complain
Well,
about it this week.
I've only there was one thing that I took notice of
Mhm.
because I haven't really listened to many news reports. I'm just feeling so great that she's going to be confirmed no matter what.
Right.
You know what? Because here's the thing, even if Manchin decides to pull something, I would hope that at least one Republican would cross over. But aside from that, what I was going to say is I haven't really read much of anything, but I did see a really nice picture of her and Mitch McConnell shaking hands.
Well, that's
He was
nice.
very smart. I mean, I think he
That's,
was smiling. I
I
think he
mean,
was smiling. So, you
that's
know,
nice. And she, what other piece of history she's making? She's the first public defender in the
wow,
Supreme
wow, to
Court.
come from a public defender background. Her background is so vast
It
and
girl.
so wide. Her perspective is going to just be phenomenal because some of those people sitting up on that court
Right.
haven't even read about some of the experiences that she's had
Right.
as
Especially
far
coming
as
from
being a
a
public
defender.
defender.
Right. Especially
Mhm,
coming from that.
mhm,
And we do realize, and we've talked about this before, that it is a conservative court. We realize that. But she is definitely going to have a presence. She's definitely going to have some things to say. And we're going to celebrate her a little later for
mhm,
Women's History Month. So we'll get into like how brilliant she is. But yeah, she's going to be calling them in order. She's going to gather them. You're
mhm.
not Kavanaugh, especially Kavanaugh. Oh, come on. Yeah. Law, cite your law, cite your sources. What are you doing right now? That
Right.
excuse me? Like what is that? Where is that written? Watch her.
And one thing, I think that she will bring a much needed line, which I feel is starting to be crossed on the separation of church and state.
Well, we hope that she can do it, but that case that's coming up, we're going to see because she will be sitting. She should be sitting for the case that's coming up with that woman.
Well,
Go
here's the
ahead.
thing, they don't expect you to change the outcome of the rulings,
Well,
but I'm
we
just
can
saying
tell in
just
the argument. We can tell in the argument, like one, how
what
they
she's gonna
write it,
say.
exactly what she's gonna say, what they're gonna say. Like we'll see the art, and that's interesting because I've never been interested in reading their text of
Mm-hmm.
how they got to their
Mm-hmm.
decision. But with her on the bench, it's definitely going to be interesting to see
Mm-hmm.
how they got there and how they went at each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
gonna that's gonna be really nice. Oh, yes. Yes, girl. And we love your name, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Right.
Onika. Ketanji Onika Brown Jackson.
Very nice. Very nice.
Anna
Very
didn't
nice.
really want to say very nice. She wanted to say very black.
No, I didn't.
I did.
No.
I
I,
did. Come
that
Onika.
I actually that is not what came to mind. I like her entire package.
You know who else's name is Onika?
If there's an actor or something like
No,
that. Mhm.
no. What's her face? The singer, the rapper. So what's her name?
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, isn't she Onika? Is her? Yeah, I think she's Onika. She's Oniki. Onika.
Oh, okay.
That's Nikki.
Right, right.
So yes, it is black. So what else we got here, Anna? So that's Ketanji.
Mhm.
Oh, want to talk about the 1-6?
Yeah. So you said that there were some new subpoenas that went out.
6. Is that 6? Oh, here,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, 6. 6 new
Mhm.
subpoenas, girl, on 6 attorneys.
Okay.
6 attorneys. So the interesting thing about that is it's like 6 attorneys that we're not going to know their names. We're not going to recognize them. But one of the people, Cleta
If
Mitchell,
I
is a
can do
woman
that.
that Mark Meadows sent to Georgia. He sent her to
Mm.
Georgia to try to find some votes. So she's going to be very interesting. And these 6 people did not work for the administration.
No privilege whatsoever. Wow.
Bingo. There's
Wow.
none. There's nothing they can say. Well, they can't even say attorney-client privilege because
Mhm.
he didn't hire them. Trump didn't hire them. So it's 6 of them. And the interesting thing is, by way of MSNBC, they're reporting that they got to these 6 attorneys through
Mhm.
other documents. So like they didn't
Right.
really know about these people until they sifted through those documents and was like,
Mhm.
hey, these
Mhm.
guys, which also can mean, Honor, that they're nearly to the end of these subpoenas, right? Because it's an
Why do you
interesting,
think that?
okay, because now we're having the no names. Like it's just an interesting, so who are we? So if we're having the no names here, we're going to have some big people come. I don't know. It just seems like it would be towards the end where you would tie the loose ends, because these people seem like they're the loose ends to it. Like, okay, let's start to
No,
you think,
no.
okay.
If Mark Meadows sent this attorney to Georgia, she's the
Mm-hmm.
beginning.
You think she's the beginning?
I mean, unless like they sent her down there in a last ditch attempt after Trump had made his call and so on and so forth. Maybe she was down there during the same time that Trump made his call. Maybe she was in town. Maybe she met with a
She
state.
was on the phone, I believe, with when he made that call. I believe she was on the phone. Almost 100% that they said she was on the phone.
So did she go down there before or after? I don't, yeah, that doesn't sound like an indication to me that they're wrapping up anything.
No, I didn't
It
say
sounds
wrapping
like,
up. Yeah, I
oh,
didn't. Nope, not wrapping up.
well,
I'm
you
just
said, well, I
saying.
mean, will the end of the subpoenas?
Yeah, I
No,
think they're just nearing an end. I think that they're closer to the end than they are to the beginning.
I don't know about that
Okay.
because it, like you said, they found these people going through other documents and we should have had their names. We'll get their names for
No,
you
no,
next time.
they didn't even, their names don't, like, they're, they're just random names. Like I said, like they said they couldn't even find all of the names because
Mhm.
they're just random 6 attorneys. Like Cleta Mitchell, they know her name because she was sent to Georgia. So the other ones just like drafted memos. That's why they got them. They drafted memos and they talked to state legislators. That's who they are. So they're
But
not.
see, okay, yeah, I don't know. I just, it sounds like they came across a box or something,
Mm-hmm,
and it was like, oh, what's this? It actually sounds like another avenue opened up. I
mm-hmm,
don't know. That's just,
mm-hmm,
and you know what? At the least,
mm-hmm,
it's more evidence perhaps for the Georgia investigation of the evidence of
mm-hmm.
the voter, trying to
Right,
drum up more votes. So,
right,
you know about her being on the phone call, but oh, she was actually here. Who was she talking
right.
to? Who did she meet with?
Guess who's gonna want to talk to her in Georgia?
Fanny. Isn't that her name? Fanny
Yeah,
Willis.
yeah. Fanny's gonna say, when y'all finish with Cleta, send old Cleta
Mm-hmm.
down my.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cleta, won't you stay for a while? We got something to talk about.
They could, and you know what? They could have. I wonder who organized this cohort of attorneys.
These
That'll be
random 6,
interesting.
because they're just very random. Like everyone keeps saying, like, we're not gonna recognize these names. No one knows who these people are, but this is what they were doing, drafting the documents. Just some
You know,
attorneys.
you know what? Here's the thing. As an attorney, you have to be admitted in that state to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these might be attorneys that they partnered up with in that state, in Georgia, or wherever these attorneys
Or
ended up
maybe
being.
they didn't
They might have sent
practice.
them to each of the different states.
Or they didn't have to practice either, right? You can draft some documents and not practice in that state. You just can't sign it. They could draft anything. They can help draft legal documents. They're not putting their names on it. They could have just been there to give advice to people, because they said they sent them to talk to state legislators. So they just probably needed someone with some legalese to go and talk to About what? Who knows? Trying to force them, trying to use some legal terms to scare people. Girl, I don't know. But that's what they said. They drafted memos. So that's not even legal documents.
The attorney said they're investigating drafted
They
memos.
said they drafted memos and they talked to state legislators. So they weren't practicing. I don't, because they weren't, and that's the thing. Like Trump didn't hire them. Yeah.
Right. What I'm saying is, so the lady wasn't from Georgia. She couldn't do anything in Georgia because she's not admitted, right? So
right.
whomever these other people were, I was just speculating that whomever these other people were may be lawyers admitted in Georgia to be able to file this or do that or whatever whatever nefarious thing that they were doing down there.
Could be. It would be interesting because if we had the names, we could look up the bar numbers and see where they're barred in what states. So that's easy. We can look up Cleta Mitchell and see where she's out of.
Did all of them get sent to Georgia? Because the other thing I was thinking is, how do we know they weren't farmed out to each of those states that they were contesting?
Right. They just said
Wisconsin and,
You know what I also did see? So we're going to get more information soon because I did see some breaking news that the 1-6 committee is going to share some information with us soon.
Okay.
So then they'll probably they'll probably talk to us about these new 6 subpoenas because it appears like they do that anyway. So yeah, more news to come. We're going to figure this out.
Right.
But still, let's stay on the 1-6 committee for one more second. Guy Wesley Reffitt. That is the he led the people up the stairs. I don't know. I think he had the bullhorn. He is the first of the insurrectionists to stand trial.
Okay.
And he's standing trial because he didn't want to plead. He's proud of what he did. He's also the guy who threatened to kill his kids if they told on him. That's that guy.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the bold Guy Wesley Reffitt, 49 years old. He led the crowd up the north staircase. Yeah. He said he lit the match. Those are his words. Like, he's happy. I think he wants to be a martyr. Like, I really think he's excited about this.
They don't call them martyrs in GP. I don't think that's going to be his name in general population.
He's a 3%.
I'm just saying.
They may, he'll hang with the swastika guys. He'll be over there with them, hanging out. He's a 3%er. They love him. We'll see how much time he gets. This is going to be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see that because this is going to set the stage for the rest of them, whether the rest of them are like, oh, hell no, I'm pleading. Like, I'm taking that plea deal.
Well, what is he being charged with?
It's 5 felonies. I don't know the exact felonies, but I know it's 5 of them.
Okay.
There's 5 felonies he's being charged with. Yeah. First at stand trial, he said he lit the match and he led the people up that stairway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Guy, watch that space, as she says. As Rachel says, who is next? Who's that? We can talk about Ukraine.
I would like to talk about Ukraine because, and this will actually lead us into our story of interest for the night, which is the State of the Union address that Biden gave. But, I really, really, really identify, and I don't mean color-wise or anything like that, but in spirit with the Ukrainian people. Of course, as everyone knows, Russia invaded Ukraine unprovoked. They've been there about a week now. The Ukrainian people are so tough. Go Ukraine. Those people are like, and I identify for this reason. They in Ukraine, enjoying their 30 years of democracy, minding their business, going on about their lives, living, having children, going out. And here comes Putin, which in my world equates to law enforcement, all coming up in the house, breaking up the party, instilling his rules, killing us.
Yeah.
And we didn't ask him to be there.
Nope.
They didn't want Putin there.
Nope.
So I applaud the Ukrainian people. They were like, no. That's exactly what they were like. No.
They said, not today, Satan.
Not today.
Not
Maybe
today.
5 days from now, but we are not going down without a fight. No, that's the one word answer. No, we decline.
Yeah.
We decline your offer.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's making Putin even more crazy and more pissed, because now he doesn't even care if he's hitting civilians. He's just hitting apartments, hotels. Like, he doesn't care, because this isn't going as fast as he wanted it to go. And the longer this is drawn out, the more he's getting squeezed, and he's got to hear from those oligarchs and those rich people.
And they have begun to make noise. They said they are already starting to complain and ask why this war is even happening. And you know what's going to speed that up? Yes, he is likely going to double down on the violence, but and this kind of slides into the speech last night that Biden made. There were some announcements made where it's like, we've already denied you access to your assets with the sanctions that they imposed over this weekend, blocking certain Russian banks with access to SWIFT. They've sent military aid. Germany increased its military budget and is sending supplies to Ukraine. Switzerland, the neutral, we can no longer be Switzerland because Switzerland is no longer neutral.
They were like, nope, no. Now, when Swiss banks are like, we don't want your money, we can't, we're pulling out, you're problematic. You're very problematic. That's insane right there. Shell gas.
Well, I also read BP. They were selling their 20% stake.
Yeah. And Exxon may be on their way. So, and that's what's going to happen. And I think that that's probably kind of the plan, right? The plan is to squeeze. And we know that it's unfortunately going to make the Russians who are there saying, I ain't got nothing to do with this, right? It's going to hurt them eventually. You know, the ruble's dropping. They have no money. They're trying to pull their money out of it. Like everything is a mess. Their economy is tanking or has already tanked. Those people are going to starve. They were already starving. But what that's going to force them to do is take to the streets. And
that's exactly what they want. Internal pressure. We're only going to be able to do it so much.
Exactly.
And I think that President Biden has done an excellent job of diplomacy behind the scenes going on all year. Let's add that to the list of things that he's been doing, because everybody always wants to know, what has he done? What has he been doing? He did not just call everybody up 2 weeks ago and say, hey guys, we got to rally around Ukraine. He has been working to restore diplomacy since he took office. And we are seeing, and fast work, we are seeing the dividends of that pay off in huge numbers. Huge numbers. So, you know, hats off to him for that. I think that internal pressure is going to get to Putin. I mean, actually, how much police force can you have if you sent everyone to Ukraine in the military? At some point, the people should outnumber the police, don't you think? The protesters?
They've arrested 6,700 protesters. 6,700. Where are they putting them? Where are they putting them?
When your economy is collapsing, when your job is gone, when your money is gone, you have time today to go and protest. Something that makes absolutely no sense for you and to you. And then, did you hear about the text that the young man sent his mother? That was just absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah. Go on and talk about it.
It really was. He said he got over there And did he get captured? He was killed, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But he sent his mother a text saying that, they were told they were going to be liberators, and the people are calling them fascists. And he
Right.
could not understand, like, why in the
Right.
world would they be calling us this horrible name?
Right.
Because a
Right.
fascist is a fascist no matter where you go. Nobody wants to be called that.
Right.
And he just could
Absolutely.
not understand. And he probably wasn't, he was texting his mama. How old was this boy?
And saying mama in the text, like, mama, they're calling us fascists. Mama, we were told that we would be welcomed with open arms. Mama, I don't like this. So go, like, Putin's a liar. He lies to his own people. His own people don't even know why they're going into Ukraine, because remember, it's state-run TV. He shut, I think it was, did he shut Russian Wikipedia down?
Well, I do know that they said today that he just shut down. There were two independent media outlets that was running. One was a TV station and one was newspaper.
He shut one of them down.
Today. Yeah, because they were showing the bombings in Kyiv and things like that. And so, yeah,
that's a no-no.
Well, here's the thing. You can't shut down telephones. No. People have relatives in Russia and Kyiv and vice versa. People are sending pictures.
Right. And
smartphones are all over.
And that's the thing, right? There are Russians in Ukraine. Like, their family is in Ukraine. So they are literally struggling right now. There was another story with this older woman who went in front of a tank, and she had a pocket full of sunflower seeds. And then she went to the guy and she's like, get out of my neighborhood and take these sunflower seeds so something good comes out of you when you die.
Wow.
Like, they are.
What do you say to that then? Yes, ma'am.
Right. That's probably what he was like, oh man, because a lot of them are probably, and they were saying, like, when they throw themselves in front of the tanks, they're trying to help them get from up underneath the tanks. I don't even think they want to kill these people, but
how can you knowingly roll over somebody when you were told that you were going there to be a peacekeeper? That's not peaceful.
Right. But then you do have them throwing bombs and shooting, like they are, but then, they're probably thinking of it as defensive because the Ukrainians are actually the ones who are defending and throwing the Molotov cocktails and, like, shooting at them, and they're shooting back. So it's like both sides just don't want to be here doing this. And you have puppet master, Trump and Putin, I tell you. This would have looked a whole lot different, boy, if this happened a couple years ago.
Let's speak on that. If Trump had been in office, it would have been, we possibly could have been guilty of war crimes, of turning a deaf ear to Ukraine, because Trump just completely erased Ukraine from his mind. He just acted like Ukraine did not exist. Once Ukraine refused to be corrupt, and do his bidding.
Right. Unbelievable. It would have been a massacre.
It would have been a massacre.
Just a massacre. He would not have offered just any of the help. Like, wow. Just the thought of that. I mean, so many people are displaced. So many people. Poland said that they're getting like 100,000 people a day.
Wow.
So the other countries in Europe are now opening up their borders to get some of these people, like 100,000.
It's so unnecessary. I mean, again, those people were living their lives.
What in the world? Oh, HSBC Global Bank also has frozen money too, and that is a big bank because I had their credit card before HSBC, so they're out as well. But, like, what is he doing with that land once he gets there? Like, he's gonna put, what do they say, somebody just come in and, like, run the country? Like, I don't, like, the Ukrainians are gonna listen to that? I'm so confused with what he thinks is going. What is the end game?
There would probably have to be a military occupation that went along with that.
And then what
Because
is
it's
the
like there would be
game?
nothing to stop uh Ukrainians from just killing the puppet the puppet
Right,
government that he installed. So
right.
it just yet remains to be seen. There's no sense in trying to deduce what this man might do
That is
other
true.
than be violent.
That's like trying to get into Trump's head. Like it's just not a good
Mhm.
place to be. It's not a good place to be. Hey, your vodka. I don't know where you guys are gonna get it from because if you're drinking Smirnoff, that's off the shelves right now. This is gone. No more Russian vodka. Matter of fact, there's Ukrainian vodka. So there you go.
Well, I'm not a vodka drinker, so to all you
I
vodka people out there, hope you're able to find a suitable substitute.
Yeah, I used to be a vodka drinker. That is just vodka is no joke. Vodka
Mhm.
and tequila. Yeah. But I think it's time for us to play a game.
Okay.
Yeah, let's play a game. Let's go there. And our
What's
time.
quotes and questions?
Quotes and questions. Andrea, you are right on time for the game. So welcome. Maybe Kevin will pop back. He had an issue with his internet. So and we'll see him later. Are you ready, Honor?
I am.
All right. We're going to go with the first question. Oh, let's see. Not question. We're going to do a quote. If this was not Bizarro World, you would be the one censored and excommunicated from the GOP. If this was not Bizarro World, you would be the one censored and excommunicated from the GOP. If this was not Bizarro World, you would be the one censored and excommunicated from the GOP. Wow. Any hint? Here's a congressman. He is in the House of Representatives. If I say too much, you're absolutely going to know. He, oh,
I think I may have an
yeah,
idea.
anything I say is going to give it to you. If this was not
Is he
Bizarro World,
speaking of someone else, right?
he is speaking of someone else. And I can tell you who he's speaking about.
I kind of guessed, but go ahead.
Marjorie Taylor
I
Greene.
knew that.
Yeah, he is speaking about her. Um, okay, I'm going to put an addition to this quote. If this was not Bizarro World, you would be the one censored and excommunicated from the GOP and not me.
Mm-hmm.
So
my first guess was right.
so that is the hint. Come on, guys. Michelle and Andrea. I know you guys have that. And also know that Michelle is way behind. Matter of fact, I'm behind you, Honor.
Are you?
Yeah, sometimes you'll see their answers before I see them.
Yeah.
No one's, oh, is it that hard? Okay. Initials A and K. What? Yeah, K. A and K. AK. AK. Those are his initials. If this is not Bizarro World, you would be the one censored and excommunicated from the GOP and not me. He is close to Cheney. Yes. Good job. Okay, Michelle. And she spelled it right. There you go. Because I know I had to look that up. Okay, so next quote. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a question. What two members of Congress spoke at a white nationalist event this week? What two members of Congress spoke at a white nationalist event this week? There was more, but name two. There's more than two. Do you know? You know.
I know one for sure.
What two members of Congress spoke at a white nationalist event this week? That's even crazy. Like that's just to say that is just a weird thing. Where do they do that at? When did this ever happen?
I don't understand it. Well, she didn't know.
All right, because she just
I
wore
mean,
all white. She wore all white there for nothing.
she didn't know Nick Quintez. Didn't know.
Right. I'm because they were only there also saying long live Putin or whatever they were chanting there.
Well, I mean,
Girl.
the only thing about that is just pictures of her with him.
Yes, green and
You know how in your phone you have a collection of pictures of random people that you just took pictures with, but
she's
you don't
got
know who
pictures
they
of
are.
him. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have a whole album full. I made a special album, randos. That's what I call them.
Oh, right. MTG and Gosar. Absolutely correct.
Yes,
Those two. Good job. Good job,
the younger
guys.
guard. Was
I,
Cawthorn there?
I don't think he was one, but I could be wrong. It was like six of
He's
them.
fighting for his seat.
Right. Right. And he's been
Mhm.
actually decrying certain things that you wouldn't think he would be. Like he wasn't supporting Putin, which was surprising. Didn't go down that.
Yeah, because he is
Mhm. Yeah.
under review with the elections board as to whether or not he's going to even be able to run again. They're trying to disqualify him. I
And he
don't know
should
why
be.
more citizens don't look into this in all 50 states to have
Correct.
crummy, um, a crummy congressman. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
I agree. I agree. Like, well, we don't want him representing us. We don't even want him running. He's disgusting. Okay, so next, yeah, it's getting late. Question. No, quote, favorite quote. Anybody that would sit down with white nationalists and speak at their conference was certainly missing a few IQ points.
Mm-mm.
This person always has like he's he's a Republican, so can't give him that much credit, but he does have good sound bites. Anybody that would sit down with white nationalists and speak at their conference was certainly missing a few IQ points.
That falls right in line with the fact that I don't think that she's the most evolved among us. Like, I really think that she fell
Right.
short of Homo sapien.
Yeah, there's some
I don't want to
chromosomes
say, I don't
missing.
want to say which person I think she is, but she didn't make it all the way to
Yeah.
Homo sapien.
You know how that chart shows the thing. She's not standing upright yet.
No, no. Mm-mm.
Oh, good job. Oh, they got it. Look at them. Look at them.
Look at y'all. Okay.
Wow, great. Okay, one more, and then we're gonna get moving. The problem.
AKA Dog the Andrea. Yes, she does look like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
It's uncanny. She could be a stunt double.
Like, for real though.
She could be a stunt double.
Mm.
He's actually cuter, to be honest.
Right, because he
He
has the
is.
face of a man. Like, only one of you are supposed to be handsome in the face.
You ever hear that? Like, you're a handsome woman. Well, I mean, I haven't heard that, but I heard like people call women handsome. Like,
I
what?
had yeah, she's very handsome in the face.
Oh gosh.
It's rough.
Okay. Last quote. The problem is not that Putin is smart. The real problem is that our leaders are dumb.
Who said that?
Just think about it. You'll get it. The problem is not that Putin is smart. The real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Anything I say will give you a hint. Like I can't even not. Um, he was part of the last administration. Um,
Well, Trump called him a genius, so it's not him now going back and saying that he's not smart.
No. This quote says he is. The problem is not that Putin is smart. Well, I guess he is. I guess that does kind of say, but he's not really saying he's dumb either, but he's trying to say that our leaders are dumb. So think about how convoluted that quote is, and you know who it is. Like, yes, thank you. Oh, they got it. Yep, Trump said it.
They're on it
because he called him a genius, so he tried to like back the track. The problem is not that Putin.
Oh,
is
that
smart.
what it? Oh, that was him kind of backtracking,
or something like, girl, who knows? Like,
save us.
I'm so glad he's not on Twitter. Like, I can't even. It makes me just so happy that
it's a better place. Like, straight, seriously.
It really
and with Marjorie gone too.
It really is. It's nice. It's quiet. We get to laugh at Trump when he does his stupid statements that they have to read. Like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, he's trash. Thank you, ladies. You guys did a great job. So let's move on for our last segment. Well, close to last segment. The State of the Union. Yeah.
Which very much will explain or show off the state of our unions, the topic of our show tonight. So I have to say, the first thing that I noticed about the State of the Union address were the two women standing behind President Joseph R. Biden.
Very powerful.
That was a fire vision right there.
Very powerful.
Wasn't it?
Oh my.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm the only one who thought that those two women looked alike. I was just like, what do they look alike? But anyway, no, it was powerful.
They had on the same lipstick.
Yeah, it just, you're right, in the face. I'm like, it just,
they were blended. Engaged. They were listening.
Yes, they were. No falling asleep. They were just excited. And I'm just like, just imagine when the two women are in the back and the woman is in the front giving that State of the Union. Girl, wait till that happens.
Please. Yes.
Wait till that happens.
And those two women, Kamala Harris is the first Black woman VP elected in 2020. And Nancy Pelosi was the first woman to lead the House, being elected actually, she wasn't elected. Who was it? Somebody stepped down to do a presidential run, and she assumed the leadership role in 2004.
And boy, did she. Wow.
So that was amazing.
It sure was. Let's get into the nitty gritty, girl.
Sure. So he talked about Ukraine first.
He jumped into that. Oh, he didn't waste no time, girl. He slid right into Ukraine. I'm like, wow. But nice. Okay. I enjoyed it.
He said the people are fearless. They have given over $1 billion in aid. They are actually sending troops to NATO countries because you know what the NATO troops do? They just fight, or like, do they also do like refugee camp setup and supplies and things like that?
I think so.
Peacekeepers.
I think so.
Because
I thought
I'm just thinking with the influx of people from Ukraine. Well, actually, they're sending them to because they're concerned because some of Russia's forces are a little too close for comfort. But
they are.
I'm wondering if it's a dual purpose.
It probably is. I would say kind of like the National Guard.
The humanitarian part of it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. No, I absolutely agree. So what I did was I rated each segment, so I did Ukraine, and then I kind of rated his delivery and his messaging on Ukraine. I gave him a B for delivery, and I gave him a B- for messaging. And I gave a B- for messaging because I tried to listen to him as someone who didn't pay attention to any of this, like Ukraine don't know what's going on. And it was a little confusing to me. Like, and I know, there's not a lot of time to try to explain exactly what sanctions are, exactly why Russia's there. But, a lot of people still don't get it. Like, I keep getting, of course, we need to be there because at the end of the day, it's going to help the world. Like, we need to be there because we have to stop this dictator from just taking over so that he doesn't think that he can go to Poland. So he doesn't think he can just take over everywhere. People hear that, but like, yeah, what? Like, it just, I don't know. What do you think? I just don't think it was flushed out enough for the average Joe Schmo to understand what was going on.
I mean, I thought he did a good job. I would give him well, because when he talked about it, he also talked about like they're releasing 60 million barrels of oil to help things here. How it has resulted in a more unified Europe, how their protests even in Russia. Now, he did say Iranian instead of Ukrainian, so I kind of dinged him on that. But overall, I kind of think that what he said, I gave him an A. I think the delivery was as fiery as it was as representative of the Ukrainian people as it could be, because they are
the delivery of the messaging, the
delivery of it, delivery. I like that he recognized the Ukrainian ambassador. And I just like basically, as far as the messaging and content, I mean, I like what we're doing. I like
the content is good. I agree. No, his delivery, I liked his delivery. The messaging to me was a little, I was just thinking like if someone didn't know what was going on, I don't think they would really still know what was going on.
Well,
and I don't think it's easy to even explain if you haven't really paid attention.
Well, you know what? And yeah, if you haven't been paying attention to Ukraine, then you probably didn't watch the State of the Union.
Well, I mean, like, so say my kid, for instance, they don't really understand. And even me, when they're asked that, we go in the war and I'm trying to explain, I'm like, wow. It's like I need to go back to square one about Russia and Ukraine's relationship so they can even understand. Like, and then it's still because the bottom line is like, why the hell is Putin there? Like, you really think about it, like, what the hell are you doing there? Like, what's the point? Putin, you're in your 70s. What are you doing right now? Go somewhere and take your shirt off and get on your boat. Like, that's anyway. After that, I think he talked about the American Rescue Plan. Did that come after?
Well, Ukraine? It was the economy. He created 6.5 million jobs. That is more jobs that have been created ever before in history in 12 months. The economy grew at 5.7%. He talked about growing the economy. He said trickle down is crap. Growing it from the bottom up and middle out. And if you think about it, that's almost kind of like the pressure that they are applying with the sanctions. Like, actually, you know what? Actually, that's wrong. That's top down. But it's actually expanding, like it's hurting their middle. But if you think about if they're pushing down and expanding that middle, they're, at some point they want that middle to burst and do something as far as Putin is concerned. But he was bottom up and middle out, meaning, the bottom needs to come up and the middle class needs to expand. I like the delivery of his economy thing too, his economy segment too, because he said, we're done talking about infrastructure week. Now it's time to talk about infrastructure decade. That got standing ovations on both sides of the aisle. Yeah. So he gave some good information. This year, they're going to repair or work on 65,000 miles of highway, 1,500 bridges. Intel's building a factory investing $20 billion. Unlike that, I forgot the factory, I think in Ohio, that sits empty now, that they were supposed to be built. They didn't do anything with it. Like it never brought the job, something that was under the former administration. So, and he gave to me a very thorough layman's terms of inflation and how and why it has come about. Like, I really thought he did a really good job of this is what is happening.
Right. Yeah. I gave him A's on that part because it was very, very thorough. If you didn't understand what inflation was, he told you, you have two choices, right? With this inflation. He's like, you know what? If you want to get rid of these jobs,
right,
that can help the inflation. We get rid of all the money that we're paying you. Inflation's gone. Like, which way do you want it? So he did explain that, and
he said you can lower wages or you can lower prices.
Right. Either or. Which one? No, we want to invest.
Lower wages or you can lower prices.
Right.
And right.
Right. And I like when he talked about investing and educating, because that's definitely what it's about. And he always says, he's like, I'm a capitalist, but you can't hold a monopoly on things being a capitalist. That's absolutely ridiculous. So it was, A plus for the jobs and the economy. And he got a chance to brag. And you know what struck me as interesting too? So whoever wrote the speech did a really good job, because the way he presented everything, it really didn't give Republicans a chance to boo at stuff. Like, it didn't make sense.
Although they tried.
Well, the two dummies tried, and then they looked foolish. Like, but they really couldn't.
Right. Because they try. Oh my God, they were trying to boo him. And he was getting ready to address the Ukrainian ambassador. Like, don't you look disgusting?
Right. And at every level, like, they couldn't boo. He's talking about jobs being created. You can't boo about that amount of jobs, the most in history. Unemployment is down. What, boo? Like, you can't do that. That was crazy. So I did love that part about investing in education. What do you boo? You can't. So I really love that part. So yeah, A for sure. Cause I'm watching, I'm like, I know they're like, he's right. Absolutely. But they do like that trickle down. Republicans love trickle down economics. And I'm glad he called them out on that. Like, no, that's ridiculous.
One of the other things that he said about the economy that was important, he was like, the made in America. And bringing the manufacturing jobs back. And he was saying, as far as the products that we use for our bridges, our roads, he said he wanted to be made in America from start to finish.
The same as what the Republicans say. So again, they couldn't boo again.
The same as what Trump said.
Yeah, exactly.
Make America great again.
I was about to say that. Biden out here making America great again. Now what? Couldn't even boo about that. That was amazing. Definitely amazing. It is 10 o'clock. So is there anything else on Biden's infrastructure? I know there was more, but
I will just, overall, I'm just going to say, because we're going to wrap it up. The speech was a great speech. He dragged a little bit. He ran past voting rights. He ran past the Violence Against Women Act.
LGBTQ.
I noticed that we are funding the police, not defunding. We are funding to create the resources and the positions out there for them to truly protect and serve our neighborhoods. And I didn't like that messaging, so I'm glad he said that.
And Pfizer pills are coming. So he did touch on.
Oh, that was
COVID.
Test and treat.
Yeah.
On COVID. Test and
so
treat.
Antiviral pills are coming. More free kits are coming. You're going to be able to go to the same place you did the last time next week to get some more free COVID testing. So he got a lot in, like, he got it in, but we're going to wrap it up with the celebration of Ketanji Onika Brown Jackson on this Women's History or Women's Month. We're going to call it Women's Month.
It's Women's History Month, but she's making history.
Right. And Women's Month, like, girl, let's just do it. Let's just women. We're celebrating women.
Yes.
So Jackson was born Ketanji Onika Brown on September 14th, 1970 in Washington, D.C. Her parents were both graduates of HBCUs. Her father, Johnny Brown, was a lawyer who ultimately became the chief attorney for the Miami-Dade County School Board. Her mom, school principal at New World School of Arts. So her dad was a lawyer. Her mom was an artist. While she was in college, Ketanji, her uncle was sentenced to life in prison. This is a little known tidbit. Life in prison for a nonviolent cocaine conviction. Years later, Jackson persuaded a law firm to take his case pro bono, and President Barack Obama eventually commuted his sentence. That's right. Right. So let's just skip down to her education. After high school, Jackson studied government at Harvard University. She performed improv comedy and took classes in drama and led protests against the student who displayed a Confederate flag from his dorm window. She graduated in 1992. She wrote a senior thesis entitled The Hand of Oppression, Plea Bargaining Processes. She worked as a staff reporter and researcher for Time magazine from 1992 to 1993, then attended Harvard Law School, where she was a supervising editor of the Harvard Law Review, and graduated in 1996. And we're out of time, but there is so much more to this woman. It's amazing. She's amazing. But we're out of time.
We'll see you next week, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Bye.